Howdy, stoners. Let me get the microphone up here. Howdy, stoners. Welcome to another edition of Sticks-n-Stonez. I'll try to look at the camera, not at myself. Trying to figure out how I see my live self on Twitter. I was going to try that instead of YouTube. I might be able to get more. There it is right there. All right. I figure I might be able to get see comments and stuff like that. So, that's where we are. I have a really great show lined up for you today. It is beautiful here in Texas. It's going to be about 80 today. Pools come up a couple of degrees in the last 6 hours. So things are getting right. It's supposed to be nearly 100, like 99 on Wednesday. So it's a good deal. First off, this is May. Actually, tomorrow's Mother's Day. So don't forget to go give your mom some love. Send her flowers, send her Sherry's berries, take her out to lunch, whatever it is. Do something for mom. They do so much for you. The other thing is, May is Military Appreciation Month. So, for my listeners, if you go to freedomfatigues.com, just like it sounds, all mashed together, and you put in the code Sticks-n-Stonez 20, STICKSNSTONEZ 20 at checkout, you'll get 20% off. You can get some great stuff, just like I love my Come and Take It shirt. Got the American flag, the Freedom Fatigues logo on the side. They are a veteran-owned business. I heartily support them, and you need to too. 4th of July is coming up. Go get some stuff emblazoned with the American flag. Whatever it is you want, go through. They've got lots and lots of stuff. You're going to love it. So, on with the show. As I said in my post a few minutes ago saying, hey, I'm going to be live. I have a really great show lined up for you today. For those of you that really relish to the art of pairing a fine spirit, particularly Scotch, with a premium cigar, Glenmorangie. I think I'm getting that right. It's kind of tricky. Glenmorangie, I think, is how it is done. This is the original 10-year-old. It's their base spirit. You can see I've already been sampling on the bottle. It is a single malt Scotch. It is a Highland Scotch. Highland is one of the 5 Scotch making distilling regions. You've got Highlands, Lowlands, Speyside, Campbelltown, and Islay. And then they somewhere in there they throw in the Orkney Island. I think that's where Talisker comes from. And so I think they fit that in there somewhere, probably in Islay, because it is a very smoky, peaty kind of Scotch, but it's got a nice salinity to it because it's on an island. But anyway, and I'm pairing that today. See, I get off channel real quick. I'm pairing that today with a Macanudo Green Label. And if you've seen over the last couple of weeks, you've seen me pair the Orange Label, which is so far my favorite. I love the Orange Label. I actually have more than 2 boxes of the Orange Label. And the White Label, which is another good cigar. So now I'm doing the green, and I think I've done the red before, like a ways back, but I'm going to be doing that here coming up because they're all a little different. And then we'll have we'll round it out with the Black Label. I think that's the last one I have. So, but I think this is going to be a really delightful and approachable combination. It's going to balance the whiskey's bright kind of citrusy notes and elegance with a cigar that is creamy and has an earthy complexity to it. And it's going to really create just a refined and accessible experience. I know whether you are a seasoned enthusiast or a newbie, you're going to love this one. So let's get right into it. Glenmorangie. And I hope you can hear me okay. This is, as I said, this is a Highland Scotch. It's It's a Highland Scotch. It is distilled in the Highlands, Highland region. Glenmorangie has been around since 1843, and it is celebrated for its extremely tall stills and their meticulous cask selection. This is the original. It's their base spirit. It's bottled at 40% alcohol by volume, which is 80 proof. And it is aged in ex-bourbon casks. Always try and get that as close to the microphone as possible because that is one of my favorite parts of the show. I love the cork pop. I'll go ahead and glass a little of this up for you. Hold it up here really high so you can see it. Oh yeah, that's a good pour right there. That's a good pour. Now, these ex-bourbon casks should deliver a really light, vibrant profile. You look at it in the glass, it's a really, really light golden color, probably even lighter than like a ripe wheat field or something like that. Really light, but it looks really crisp in the glass. Has good legs on it. I can already smell it as the wind is blowing here. You really get a lot of like fresh floral right off the bat. It's just wafting out of the glass. I use the Glencairn. There's also, you can use nosing glasses, which look like miniature wine glasses. But the way this glass is shaped, the way it narrows at the top, it really focuses all those flavors. And it's just big enough for your nose to get right there around the top, and you can get all of it. None of it escapes. It's all going right into the olfactory system. Now, along with the floral, you get a really nice like orange peel and some vanilla, maybe a little bit of peach, which makes it smell fuzzy. I don't like peaches because they taste fuzzy. Everybody's like, well, you peel the fuzz off of it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. That's what it tastes like. It tastes fuzzy. So that's a little quirk about me. And then there's just a really nice like honey sweetness coming up out of the glass to kind of finish all of that off. It's wonderful. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was watching my Bayern Munich Reds. They've already won the Bundesliga championship. It's their 33rd title and their 12th in the last 13 years. And it was a big day today because it was one of their longtime players, been with them for 2 decades, Thomas Müller. It was his last home game. He's leaving the team. So I was making sure I was watching this match. Anyway. Now that is just really like silky, and it's bright with some really nice citrus notes and citrus zest in it. You get a little bit of like creamy vanilla. There's a little bit of tartness, like a green apple kind of tartness, and then there's also a touch of almonds. That is just a really great spirit. Um, People that are just getting into whiskey, it's got enough oomph to it for it to challenge you, but it's also going to be very approachable for the experienced whiskey drinker. It's not too little for the whiskey drinker. It kind of fits right in there where you can kind of cover both sides. You get the experienced, you get the newbies. The finish is clean, but it's kind of a medium finish. It kind of lingers around. There's some soft oak on it. There's a little bit of like a sweet malt, and just maybe a whisper of spice. You may see I keep cutting my eyes up and watching what they're doing. Yeah, big day. Sad to see him go, but thank him for all the memories. Now, as I said, this is a Highland Scotch. Speyside and Highland are known to be the less smoky, less peaty scotches. They may have some of those characteristics in them, but unlike Islay, which is notarized as it's known for having really heavy, smoky, peaty scotches, really earthy. Um, One of my favorites from that area, it's just this particular bottle of this particular brand. It's a lower smoke, lower peat, and that is Bruichladdich, their classic laddie. That's kind of their base spirit. And while it does have smoke and peat in it, it's not a lot. But then you get like the Port Charlotte. They've got another one that has Islay in the name of it. But anyway, those are really heavy, smoky, peaty. Lagavulin. You hear a lot of stuff about Lagavulin. Lagavulin is heavy, smoky, peaty. You might not want to start there. Advice. You might not want to start there. So, excuse me. And this Scotch's kind of fruity character is it will make it a really versatile kind of partner for a lot of different cigars because it can fit into a lot of different areas. Especially medium-bodied cigars. You don't want something that's really heavy, a strong cigar. You may end up washing out some of the really good notes of the Scotch. But this Macanudo Green Label should be a good one. Now, this is a cigar with a Brazilian twist to it. It is crafted in the Dominican Republic. Somebody commenting on a linebacker post I made yesterday. The Green Label is crafted in the Dominican Republic. It stands out because it has a rare Brazilian, and I'll have to look at my notes here to make sure I can pronounce this right. Arapiraca. I think that's right. I'm saying it like it's spelled. That's the wrapper. It's really dark. It's paired with Dominican Piloto Cubano and Colombian Carmen Cubita fillers, and then that is wrapped with an Indonesian binder, and then the Brazilian wrapper on top. This is a Robusto, 5-inch by 52 on the ring gauge. I think it's gonna offer a really smooth and distinctive smoking experience. I posted a post yesterday or the day before smoking this cigar. That was my test run. But let's go ahead and get into it here. First off, the Brazilian wrapper is a really deep, dark. I'll get it up kind of close to the camera so you can see the molting, splotchy patches. It goes from dark brown to almost black. That is just that particular leaf. It's rolled. You might be able to tell it's rolled fairly rough, but it actually has very minimal veining on it, and the veining it does have, I mean, probably this one, I don't even know if you can see it on the camera, is the most pronounced, and it's not really that pronounced. The seams are barely visible, but they are visible, and they are tight. It has a very nice double cap. I had to make sure that wasn't a triple. Yeah, double cap. So, on the nose. I get some real nice earthy, kind of barnyardy aromas off of it. It's a little more pungent at the foot. There's some hints of cedar and leather in it, and it is just it's got a wonderful aroma to it. Let's give it a cut. V cut, my normal. Get my Herf two finger over here. That's a pretty good cut. All right, now on the cold draw. It's kind of earthy with some hints of cocoa and cedar in it. And I'm also picking up something along the lines of raisins or kind of dried prunes, that kind of dried fruit thing. So it is just a touch of sweet coming off of it in the cold draw. Let's go ahead and fire it up. I am using my Rocky Patel Envoy 5 torch. Little tobacco. My flamethrower. One more little touch right there. Gotta make sure it's completely lit. The Bundesliga champions, Bayern Munich. All right, gotta focus here. On the palate, I get kind of a creamy coffee, some roasted nuts, a little sweet wood along the lines of like cedar, maybe a little wet cedar. There's a subtle spice to it and a little bit of a kind of a grassy undertone, probably from the Arapaca wrapper leaf. Man, I don't know what I'm going to be like when I'm about 10 years older. I may be just sitting in a wheelchair slobbering. It's terrible. I get a little bit of a citrusy note on the retrohale and a little bit of black pepper, a little spice in the nose. It's a very smooth cigar. You would think it being darker, it'd be a little heavier, a little stronger, but it's very smooth. There it comes. The legend coming out to make his last bow. Gonna miss him. Putting the metal around his neck. There it is. Hope they get somebody really good to replace it. The cigar's kind of balanced earthiness and kind of creamy texture pairs almost seamlessly with the Scotch's kind of lively, kind of fruity notes, and the Scotch's citrus and vanilla. They really kind of enhance that creamy coffee, kind of nutty flavor from the cigar. Thank you, Sadie. Always nice to have her on the show. And while while you have a cigar that does have earthy notes to it, uh, it really complements the Scotch's kind of subtle oak and malt flavors. It's a really good pairing. I was kind of concerned because this is such a dark cigar. I'm like, I don't know, we'll see, but it's working. Hmm. The pairing feels light and flavorful with the uh, the Scotch's kind of brightness cutting through the richer notes of the cigar, really creating kind of a melded, cohesive kind of experience. Uh, this is actually, I'll pat myself on the back. I think I did pretty good on this one. Of course, with Glenmorangie, I had to go to Google and listen to about two or three different things and saying it, and I think I got it right. Uh, because it's more like the last part of it is more like orangey, 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 something like that. It's close. But I originally thought it was Morangi. So, Morangi, Glenmorangie. Top of the Morangi to you. This, the smoke in the glass, doesn't mean anything. It's my thing. I like, I love to see it. And I have found that certain cigars, the smoke will hold in the glass longer than others. Don't know what that means, but it's interesting. Deutsche Fußballmeister. I can't say 2025 in German. Meine Deutsche nicht sehr gut, aber verständlich. There is a really, I about got too much going in all different places. This is really a good smoke producer. It produces a lot of smoke. I don't think too much, but a lot. Anybody listening that's going to be buying something for me for Christmas, I'd love to have a Bayern Munich shirt. Unfortunately, I can't get that at Freedom Tees. They don't have that. There's a statue of a parrot up there. I'm not exactly sure what that has to do with Germany or football or Munich. And it's not just a parrot. It looks like what's the white one that was on the, and I'm aging myself here, the late 1970s show Beretta, like a cockatoo or something like that. It's got the thing that it'll stand up. Yeah, not really sure what, because they're called the Reds. At one point they were called FC Hollywood. But yeah, nothing to do with the cockatoo. I'm not really sure why the cockatoo's up there. I'll have to research that. I'll get back to you on that one. I really feel like this pairing is working really well. Um, the Glenmorangie 10 is really crisp and kind of that fruit forward profile, and it really complements the Macanudo Green Label with its medium bodied kind of creaminess without overwhelming it, and vice versa. And I'm not going to try and say that backwards because I'd never get it right. Uh, they do both share a really nice uh, kind of subtle smoothness and a little bit of sweetness. I know there's a lot of whiskey drinkers and cigar smokers that don't like a lot of sweet. This has got a little sweet, a little sweet. So it should be okay for you, I'm pretty sure. And then they have those kind of contrasting notes, like the citrus versus the earthiness, and the vanilla versus the coffee. But I love vanilla coffee. Matter of fact, I have iced coffee every morning. My wife, Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez, she's always like, "You're so regimented." Well, I eat cereal every morning if I'm not having to drive into the office, and I eat the same kind of cereal. I have the same kind of fruit on it. I've been doing it for years, and I love my iced coffee. I will take that with me on the way to work. But yeah, I like I like to have the cream and Splendas and all that stuff in there. I even not Splenda, stevia, and I have sweetener, flavored sweeteners like vanilla, cinnamon, like that, that are made with stevia. I buy it on Amazon. If any, and I've lost 55 pounds in the last 23 months, because we're in May now. So, hey, if you need a good diet plan, I can help you out. I was at the VA 2 years ago, and he tried to tell me I was a type 2 diabetic, and I told him he was smoking crack. He didn't really appreciate that too much, and I'm like, well, I didn't appreciate you labeling me. And he said, so do you want to get in the VA's diabetic program? No. You don't? No. Why not? Well, I'm going to go talk to my doctor, and I'll get back to you. I got back to him when I was at the next appointment a year later, and he had to admit that my A1C wasn't even on borderline anymore. I went to him last week. He still refuses to take diabetic off my chart, but my A1C is 5.1. Normal. Yeah, I started eating right. I still drink. I still smoke cigars. My great-grandfather lived to be 95. He did it. Wore Stetson, too. Stetson open road. That's another gift idea. I'd really like to have a Stetson open road, a silver belly. I used to have his. My dad had it in the closet, and somewhere around them moving from house to house, it's gone. I hated it. It was his hat. I never saw him without it, and I love my great-grandfather. He was a character. He was in the Army like 1912. He was born in like 1894. So he was like 16 years old, something like that. He was 1896. I think he was 16 years old, and he was in the Army. And he was with General Blackjack Pershing, chasing Pancho Villa around Texas and Mexico. And then he was in France and lived through World War I. Had an eye put out in an industrial accident, and lived to be 95. But he smoked cigars, and he loved the fruit of the field. But back to this. I think I mentioned a minute ago that these they kind of share balancing aspects when you've got kind of the citrus versus the earthy, and the vanilla versus the coffee, and then I got off on iced coffee. But that really kind of adds intrigue to the pairing. And I think this is one of those that can be this is a pairing. I can try to get this sentence spit out. This is a pairing that it's really ideal for those that are seeking elegance, but just enough complexity. The complexity doesn't overwhelm you. You really get to enjoy it. Don't you wish you were me right now? Let me look over here. See if I can see anything. No, can't see anything. I can see me, and I can see I've got a lot of people watching. Thank you. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Here's one thing I will note now that we're getting kind of close to the halfway mark. It's really great construction. You got those nice, just really uh, sleek stacks of white ash, but it does have a slight hump in the burn line. Could be me, or it could be it. You know, I have to say, with the way this cigar is constructed overall, it's probably me. My lighting skills. I had a I had a single burner lighter, torch lighter, and I would light with my Rocky Patel, but then I'd touch it up with that single, and because it was much more precise with just the one flame. But I've misplaced it somewhere. From Cigarism. You can, matter of fact, I need to go and order another one because you can find it on there. And if you go to the Sticks-n-Stonez, STICKS-N-STONEZ on Amazon, you'll find our Amazon store, and I actually have the Cigarism lighters and cutters and all that in there. And I actually have some of Rocky Patel stuff highlighted on there too. Got a smoker in your life, love cigars, or you yourself, that's a good place to go and pick you up some really nice accessories for them or you. I have a nice got a leather travel case. Unzip, open it up, and it's got spaces for 5 cigars. Holds it in there with a Velcro strap. On the inside, on the other side, it's got a place for your lighter, place for your cutter, and a place in the middle for you to put a Bovita pack. That way, you can keep your cigars nice and at the right humidity when you go on vacation. I take it with me every year. As we're getting kind of close to it's hard to say because like on this side, you're at the halfway mark, but on this side, you're not quite there. I'm going to touch it just a hair, not too much. Kind of straighten it up a little bit. But as we're kind of getting into close to the halfway mark in this one, I don't really pick any new flavors coming out, but the flavors that are there have stayed consistent, but they've kind of smoothed out. You're getting an even smoother profile as you've gotten farther back into the stick. And that is a really great Scotch. I mean, you can't go wrong with Glenmorangie. And I think I'm saying that right. Another condo for sale. I'm trying to sell my condo in Florida. If you want to buy one, yeah, it's for sale. You can go. I got a real estate agent down there trying to sell it for me. Moving out of Florida. Going to move the Southern Command to a different southern location. So it's always going to be on the beach though. Love beaches. It's like behind me back there. Well, I can't show you. They give me a copyright infringement on the soccer match going on. But I've got my sign that Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez got for me that it says, Brits, no shoes, bar, and grill where every hour is happy. And it's got a palm tree on each side. And then underneath the no shoes, it's got a beer mug and a margarita glass. That sums up my lifestyle. Yeah, I'm a beach guy. Well, we're at the 34-minute mark. I really try to keep these under a half hour, but I go between 30 and 35 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let you have the rest of your afternoon. Kind of my final thoughts on this one is the Glenmorangie original 10-year and the Macanudo Green Label are sophisticated yet kind of easygoing pairing. They do celebrate the craftsmanship and the balance. It's a very balanced pairing. So whether you're unwinding after a long day or just having some friends over, this duo will really help to make whatever experience you're having more memorable, I'm sure. So the best thing I can tell you is order you some of these, get you a bottle, and just light up and enjoy the harmony. Cigars do require you to slow down. A cigar will take you about 50 to 55 minutes to smoke, sometimes 45, sometimes an hour 5, hour 10. So you have to slow down and enjoy it. If you smoke it too fast, it'll make you sick. So enjoy responsibly. My final score on this one, I'd say this is an 89 out of 100 together. It shines for its accessibility and its balance. There, finally dropped. I knew it would. I kept holding it over the ashtray because I'm like, yeah, it'll drop in my lap. That's happened a few times. That bright fruitiness of the Scotch and the kind of creamy earthiness of the cigar just really kind of create a really good contrast. And I think a touch more intensity might be able to push that score up a little bit. But since this is one that appeals to both beginners and experienced, but I think it's a fantastic choice and a very approachable experience. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, leave me comments. I love it. I love to hear what people think. If you have something you'd like to see paired, let me know. I'll have a show on it. But until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry. Stone's gold. Have a great day.